This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so Eddie Hearn has stated that he's looking at enrolling all Matchroom signed fighters to a regime of PED testing that's going to cost them an absolute fortune. Now, the only thing that I can come up with, because he did mention about speaking with VADA and things like that, is that he's going to enroll every single one of his fighters with VADA, which is very, very expensive. And for VADA, for example, you can get some kind of deal, you can call it that, which is still a lot of money, but $15,000 per year per fighter. And with that, each fighter that's signed up is guaranteed to be tested by VADA between 6 and 10 times a year. Now, to give you some kind of context as to how much this is going to cost him, if he's got 100 fighters on his books, which I'm sure ain't too far away from it, then that's going to cost him $1.5 million per year. $1.5 million that he doesn't have to do. But he's going to do that to make sure that if anybody wants to be a Matchroom fighter, you have to sign up to this clean boxing program. Now, is he going to be working with UCAD and the British Boxing Board of Control? Is that going to be additional as well? I'm hearing some kind of people saying how he's going to potentially kick off the British Boxing Board of Control and UCAD and just do this one. Now, I don't think that's what he's going to do, because every boxer that is signed up with British Boxing Board of Control, i.e. has a British Boxing Board of Control license, has to go through UCAD. It's not optional, okay? So unless he's going to bin off the British Boxing Board of Control and not use their licenses anymore, then I wouldn't have thought so. Okay, I think that obviously they're still going to be using UCAD, so that'll be additional testing as well. But if he doesn't, and he does bin off UCAD and the British Boxing Board of Control, and all Matchroom fighters use a different license, I will fully 100% support that. I will. British Boxing Board of Control, in my opinion, are useless. Absolutely useless. They need kicking out. Well, not the British Boxing Board of Control, that's unfair because they have a lot of good people there. But the people at the top end, for me, don't know what they're doing. They're incapable of making proper decisions. So if they do bin off the British Boxing Board of Control and go with another license, great. I'm all for it. But I don't think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to continue with the British Boxing Board of Control, thus has to continue with UCAD. But to go back onto the point of VADA, that's a lot of money. And if Matchroom do that for all their fighters, that's going to put on a lot of pressure for all the other promoters to do that with theirs. Okay, none of them have the vast stable that Matchroom have, and it's not going to cost them as much money, is it? Because they've got a smaller stable of fighters. But it will put pressure on them to do it, where boxing fans, journalists, people in boxing will say, well, Matchroom are doing this. Queensbury, what are you doing? Boxer, what are you doing? Top Rank, what are you doing? Premier Boxing Champions, PBC, what are you doing? What's Wasserman doing? And so forth and so on. You all need to do it. Now, granted, there are different circumstances, because obviously some have more money than others. And 15 grand per boxer, even at the lower end prospects that are having to sign up, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. For me, I don't agree that VADA should be that expensive. I really don't. And I think that's one of the reasons why not everybody gets tested. Not everybody is enrolled in VADA, because it's just too expensive. It's ridiculous, to be honest. But rather than pay 30 grand for a main event, for example, in a camp, just pay 15 grand for each fighter, and then you're enrolled in a year. But of course, then what he's going to have to do is each opponent that comes in as well, they're going to have testing. So he's going to have to put them through the testing regime for their particular camp. When, to be honest, a lot of their fights do get announced last minute. So it's not like they're going to have a full camp anyway, but a full camp of testing. But again, you know what? There's always going to be ums and ahs, and people will still criticise if Eddie Hearn goes through with all this. But again, maybe he's got some other idea that is not what it is that I believe it's going to be. But maybe it's going to be all down to the drug-free sport, the DFS. Maybe he's going to use them. Either way, no matter what testing they use, it's still testing. Some testing is better than no testing. And if people want to complain about DFS, if you want to complain about VADA, you want to complain about UCAD, and I agree, all of them can be criticised, especially with the fact that they take so damn long for results and things like that. But some testing is better than no testing. And if Matchroom are going to go through with what I think they're going to go through, which is 15 grand per fighter per year. That's a whole lot of loot, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. They do, and hopefully all the other promotional companies will follow suit. Well, I suppose they'll have to, won't they? But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.